Welcome in to News and Views with Tom Lamprecht. The stories you've heard and the ones you need to hear.
The spikes are in the metros. The density of the population is also probably a factor.
We need about 70 to 80% of the population to be immune. It's extremely unlikely that we would eradicate COVID completely. It's just too contagious and too widespread.
If you disagree with these woke corporations, then you will be monitored, you will be tracked.
Your life, your values, your voice. This is News and Views with Tom Lamprecht on Talk 96.3 and 103.7.
All right, welcome in. And lots to talk about as always. Donald Trump, late this afternoon, has announced he is launching a communication platform. Now, initially, it is just a one-way platform. It'll be his platform that he will send out all kinds of information, tweets, videos, pictures, comments, commentary to the public. So if you've been following him on Twitter, you will now have to follow him. The platform is, quote, from the desk of Donald J. Trump. It appears on www.donaldjtrump.com/desk. Now, interesting, I'd never signed up for this, but I get emails several times a day, almost to the point they're annoying. Mr. Trump, President Trump, I love you, but the emails are getting a little overwhelming. And they always say, from the desk of Donald J. Trump.
I get that too.
Yeah, well, apparently if you've ever had anything to do with the ex-president, you're getting those emails. Anyway, he is going to go ahead and launch this. Now, initially, it's just a one-way platform. You can't communicate back, you can't like, you can't discuss. My hunch is that will change as it gets down the road. My hunch is they're going to open it up, and it will be more like a two-way conversation. The technology appears to be powered by Campaign Nucleus, the digital ecosystem made for political campaigns, organizations, and it was created by his former campaign manager, Brad Parscale. The space allows Trump to post, allows followers to share the former president's posts to Twitter and Facebook. Maybe that's how he's going to get back on Twitter and Facebook. He's not going to be on there, but you can share his tweets on Twitter and Facebook. Interestingly, the timing of this, that apparently the folks at Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg's organization, are apparently getting together today to decide whether or not Donald Trump will be allowed back on Facebook or whether he will be banned permanently. I'm telling you, Twitter and Facebook, I mean, right now you're on the top of your game. And don't think that you won't come down. They all do. Look, when I was a kid, Montgomery Ward's and Sears was it. I mean, that's what everybody in retail aspired to be, the next Sears, the next Montgomery Ward. Where are they? They don't exist anymore. There will be something that comes along that will knock you off the throne. So you might just want to think that through. Just saying. First and Freedom Daily is reporting on maybe you saw this yesterday, not that many of our listeners watch Joe Scarborough, the former Republican congressman, who I don't think they'd let him back in the Republican Party today if he ever wanted to run again. So he's on talking with some guests about the Republican Party. And he brings up 3 states that he claims the Democrats are going to take over. Now, we talked about last week how Apple has made that big announcement. Some people are calling it controversial that we're going to be handing over $845 million, somewhere about that number of taxpayers' money to Apple, and give them a tax break through like 2060 for the next 40 years. And but anyway, they were on Joe Scarborough, Morning Joe, talking about how Georgia, Arizona, and North Carolina will go from being solid Republican to iffy to solid Democrat. And it was rather interesting to hear Joe Scarborough describe you moronic, hillbilly conservatives. Apparently, Joe is doing his broadcast from the sewer now. I don't know what that echo was. But once North Carolina can bring in some educated people that wear shoes and have all their teeth, then we will be smart enough that we won't vote for Donald Trump. Thank you, Joe, for that insightful commentary on us ignorant North Carolinians. Despite the Republican Party's suicide mission, according to Scarborough, who sees these dumb Republican voters, they just won't wake up from the Trump nightmare. Here's the thing, Joe. Maybe, just maybe, there are individuals who are in the Republican Party who do things and vote for things based on what they think is morally and ethically correct, not on what wins them the next election. And quite frankly, Joe, I mean, if you want to talk about going in the wrong direction, do you see what the Democrats are doing, Joe? I mean, do you really think that educated? I mean, you're talking about educated people that come out and say, "Oh yeah, men can claim to be women, and women can claim to be men." Yeah, that's educated. I don't think so, Joe. Maybe Republicans do things and vote in a certain way because it's just the right thing to do. Morally and ethically, it's just the right thing to do. National Review is reporting that Texas Democrat, we talked about him yesterday, the guy from Texas, who was a Democrat county party chair, he has resigned. The guy that called Senator Tim Scott an Oreo. He's resigned in response to mounting pressure from both sides of the aisle, thankfully. Surprisingly, that Democrats would encourage him to resign. Because, I mean, it's always the double standard. A Democrat usually says it, and there's no pushback. Republican says it, and you go out and hang him. He said, "I'm deeply and sincerely sorry for my inappropriate and hurtful use of racist terms I used to describe Tim Scott on my personal Facebook page. It was insensitive, and I've embarrassed myself and my party by its use," Lamar County Democrat Party Chair Gary O'Connor said to the Washington Examiner earlier today. I will say this, Gary, you actually apologized. So kudos to you for apologizing, and I hope you send a personal note to Tim Scott. But, I mean, most of the time you hear these apologies, they come out as, well, if you're so thin-skinned that you were offended by what I said because you're overly sensitive, then I guess I'm sorry. No, you did embarrass yourself. As a result, he said, "I feel compelled to offer my resignation as the chair of Lamar County Democratic Party for consideration by the county executive committee," O'Connor said. I was going to say my hunch is they'll accept it. Who knows? Anyway, thanks for the apology. And Tim Scott, your stock continues to rise. I think Tim Scott is probably wearing the insults, the racial commentary against him right now. I think he probably wears that as a badge of courage. And every time somebody says something like that that is really idiotic and hurtful and stupid, I hope Tim Scott is wise enough to realize that even though it's mean and it hurts, and you don't like to hear it, but think of the silver lining, Tim, that your stock is going up, your popularity is going up. Every time somebody says something stupid like that, there are more people that are going to look at you and realize that you're a man of character, so stand strong. President Joe Biden and First Lady Jill Biden sat down with President Jimmy Carter and his wife Rosalind. Jimmy and Rosalind, I don't mean this in any demeaning way, they have had a long life. Jimmy is 96 now, and Rosalind is 93. And maybe Joe and Jill Biden took this picture to make them look young. Joe needs to do something to make him look young. But what was weird about this picture was the Bidens are kneeling next to the two. Joe's kneeling next to Rosalind, and Jill's leaning next to Jimmy. Jimmy and Rosalind are in easy chairs. And the thing that's funny about it is apparently they must have taken it with a wide-angle lens to get everybody in the picture. And it makes the Bidens look like giants and the Carters look like dwarfs. I mean, it is really weird. But even more weird is that nobody's wearing a mask. I mean, they are right there, faces inches away from each other. Not 6 feet, maybe 6 inches. They're all cozy in together, and nobody's wearing a mask. I'm actually pleased that the head of the mask coalition, Joe Biden, was not wearing his mask. It will, one, make it harder for him to press for a mask mandate passport, and it just reinforces the liberal, hypocritical double standard that you always see from the left. But see if you get that picture and put it on our Facebook page. It's hilarious. Yeah, go to ENC News and Views. Clark will get that up for you. Speaking of Joe, good news. This is cut one. Good news is, according to Joe, now how many? I think there's a few of us that, not us, a few of you that make in excess of $400,000 a year. If you're in that category, good news. Well, let me put it this way: if you're 400,000 or less, good news. You won't pay any taxes.
I'm going to do this is I keep hearing on the press, Biden's going to raise your taxes. Anybody making less than $400,000 a year will not pay a single penny in taxes. And we will not increase the deficit either, unlike the last gigantic tax cut, which increased the deficit by $2 trillion. Anybody making less than $400,000 a year will not pay a single penny in taxes.
Once again, Joe screwed it up. According to Joe, you make $400,000 or less, you will not pay 1 penny in taxes. Now, Snopes comes out and says, he clearly misspoke. He meant you won't be paying any more in taxes if you make $400,000 or less. Jen Psaki further added to the Biden confusion tax promise, saying that Biden means families rather than individuals. So they've got it pretty screwed up. Anybody making more than $400,000 will see a small to a significant tax increase, Biden told George Stephanopoulos and reported to the Wall Street Journal. He added, if you make less than $400,000, you won't see 1 single penny in additional federal tax. The Wall Street Journal then reported that White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki conceded that the $400,000 threshold was for families, not individuals. This means that 2 married individuals, both with incomes lower than $400,000 annually, but amounting to more than $400,000 when combined, could see tax increases flying in the face of Biden's campaign promise. The Wall Street Journal was not kind to Joe Biden on this. He just said the Wall Street Journal said, this is a familiar tax bait and switch. Democrats promise they'll only tax the rich, but there aren't enough rich. And the rich don't have enough money to finance the Democratic Party's endless spending schemes. Millions of Americans Mr. Biden wants to tax aren't rich. They're successful Americans, typically at the peak of their earning lives, who might make $200,000 over several years. You are right, Wall Street Journal, and you're also right that there is not enough money. There will never be enough money for the Democrats. I don't care how much money they could bring in through taxes, they would want to spend twice as much. I mean, we could be bringing in $100 trillion a year, and they'll want to spend $200 trillion. But do the math, and you can't come up with the money. We talked about this last week. He wants to spend trillions, and he's talking about bringing in billions. And again, you tax it, and it will disappear. For sure. We've got to take a time out. Love to hear from you. 561-8255. Lots more news and views coming right up.
And we're on location at one of my favorite places in the whole planet because this is some of the best food you're ever going to eat in your life. We are at Nino's on Red Banks Road in Greenville. It's one of my hangouts. It's one of the places that I love. I got my friend Pietro Pasalacqua. How'd I do?
You did great.
Let's talk about the food. What makes this place? I know it's special Italian from authentic Italians, but tell us why it's so special.
Because everything we do, it's really what we came up on the menu from what we did at home, from my grandparents, my parents. So it's exactly what we eat at home, and that's the way we cook. That's why it's special.
And the atmosphere in this place is special also. From the bar to the two dining areas, you got two different dining areas, and now the weather's nice, so there's going to be a lot of folks that want to eat outside.
Yeah, we have two rooms. One room is designed a little different. We're also working on the patio to make it more attractive and more useful in the summer with a cocktail service. And we're always improving our services.
And, of course, my friends here, my buddy, Chef Massimo, who I love, and Sal and Pietro, you guys do a great job here. Not just Italian, but I had a great pork chop here the other night. You got great steaks, too.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we're also adding filet mignon in the future on our menu. And Massimo is coming out with a really good side dishes for it. And so we're really excited to come out with new meats and fish dishes.
All right, Nino's on Red Banks Road in Greenville. Same people that give you Marabello's and the great pizza that you get at Marabello's, but this is fine dining at Nino's. If you haven't been here, you don't know what you're missing. Come see them at Nino's on Red Banks Road. And Pietro, what is that famous saying about Nino's?
The food that you enjoy with people that you love.
Top Dog Academy is Eastern North Carolina's complete dog training facility. Top Dog provides an excellent environment for dogs of all ages with training services and work week daycare. Top Dog is located on Highway 43 South, just 4 miles from Bells Fork, and features a comfortable, healthy environment and a spacious facility for daycare and a brand new, beautiful facility for training. Call 752-8215 or visit topdogonline.com.
Come on out Highway 43 South to Top Dog Academy, where we know dogs.
Living easy is the sound of children laughing as you make memories with neighbors and friends. It's the sound of nothing at all. It's the smell of the salt air. Hear the waters against the marsh grass. See the beauty.
Almost back to normal means back to eating out.
Where do you want to go?
I don't know. Where do you want to go?
Back to the gym.
Sir, there's no smoking on the treadmill.
Back to smelling your coworkers' lunch.
Who cooked fish in the microwave again?
And back to wasting time in traffic. Our updates and alternates. We get you back to the good stuff.
Go, son, go!
Welcome back to News and Views on Talk 96.3 and 103.7.
All right, welcome back in. It is News and Views for a Tuesday. Taking a look at your weather forecast tonight. A chance of showers and thunderstorms mainly before 11 o'clock. Lows around 71. Chance of precip 40%. On the way into the studios, I noticed out towards the west, there looked like there were some pretty big thunderclouds building. So we'll see. You might just keep an eye on the sky. Looking at Wednesday's forecast, a chance of showers and thunderstorms before 8 a.m. Otherwise, the sunshine will come out with a high near 87. Wednesday night, a chance of showers and thunderstorms again, mostly in the early evening. Then on Thursday, sunny with a high near 71. So a little cool front coming through to cool things down. Friday, sunny with a high near 71. And it looks like a pretty good weekend for Mother's Day. So don't forget Mom. Weather brought to you by our good friends at the Ironwood Golf and Country Club. Voted best golf course in Greenville 2 years in a row, Ironwood Golf and Country Club boasts an 18-hole Lee Trevino design course, full-service dining and outdoor pool, tennis, and more. Our newly renovated 15,000-square-foot clubhouse is the perfect place to make new traditions with your family. For a limited time, join Ironwood and pay zero initiation fee. Call 252-752-4653. Find out what makes Ironwood the best of Greenville. Be a part of the best. Ironwood Golf and Country Club, 252-752-4653. If you want to get into golf and you've never played, there is no better PGA golf pro and instructor in the area than John LaMonica, who is the golf pro over at Ironwood. Give John a call. He'll get you started. You'll enjoy it. By the way, there's an interesting story on Fox Business News. Maybe you knew this, maybe you didn't. If you're down on the Outer Banks, it doesn't say where in the Outer Banks this took place, but maybe if you're listening and you've run into Bill Gates over the years, you'll know where his cozy little beach cottage was. But according to Fox Business, a story that came out this afternoon, as we mentioned yesterday, about the time we went on the air, it was announced that Bill and Gloria Gates were filing for divorce after 27 years. This might be one of the issues. I'm just saying. I don't think my wife would have agreed to this when we got married. As part of the deal that Bill Gates had when he married his wife that he's now divorcing, it was that he could once a year go away to a North Carolina beach, stay in a beach cottage with his old girlfriend. Yeah, I'm not making this up. Her name was Ann Winbald. And the two of them would get together every year. Now, she's actually older than he is. Now, he said, we just want to get together because we're both tech nerds and we could talk about things like biotechnology and those kind of things. I just want to talk trade. I don't care what I would have wanted to talk about. I don't think my wife would have given the thumbs up, nor would have I given the thumbs up to her if she wanted to go away once a year for a extended weekend with an old boyfriend. I'm just saying, I don't think that's the way you start out. Maybe that had something to do with it, maybe not, but I don't think that's how you start out. By the way, The Hill, remember back in 2020 of January, The Hill reported then when Trump expanded the China travel ban, which you might remember Fauci and the Dems said, the ban to this was an extended ban to a bunch of African nations after the travel ban to and from China was announced. Nancy Pelosi and Fauci, everybody came out and said, oh, no, we don't have to have a travel ban. That travel ban, that's xenophobic. Nancy Pelosi ripped Trump's expanded. This is from last year when it was actually in the news. Nancy Pelosi ripped President Trump's expanded travel ban after he included 6 other countries to the list that will face increased travel restrictions. And again, this was related to COVID. The Trump administration's expansion of this outrageous, un-American travel ban threatens our security, our values, and the rule of law. The sweeping rule barring more than 350 individuals from predominantly African nations from traveling to the United States is discrimination disguised as policy, Pelosi said in a statement. With this latest callous decision, the president has doubled down on his cruelty and further undermined our global leadership, our Constitution, and our proud heritage as a nation of immigrants, she added. Well, guess what? Fox News is reporting today travel restrictions from India to the United States went into effect today. Isn't that another nation of color? Wouldn't they be considered a nation of color? Went in effect today as the alarming COVID-19 surge there is officially infecting more than 350 people a day. Apparently, the hospitals are so full there's no room for Americans. The U.S. Embassy in India is warning of reports of Americans not getting treated. They're saying, get out of there. Now, this ban does not affect American citizens. They can come back in the United States. But if you're not, or if you don't have a permanent resident status, you cannot get back. You cannot get from India into the United States. Now, listen, I am not knocking Joe Biden for this. Donald Trump was right when he did it a year ago, and Biden is correct in doing this now. I'm not knocking Biden. I am, however, wondering where is loudmouth Nancy Pelosi? Just asking. 561-8255. Gary's on the line. Hey, Gary, how are you, sir?
Hey, Tom. How's it going? How's it going?
Doing well. Good to hear from you.
Good. I just got a question. I've been having this question ever since I started hearing that stuff about the Democrats wanting to make the District of Columbia a state and Puerto Rico a state. And they're saying that it's automatically going to have Democrat representatives from D.C. and from Puerto Rico. How does that work? I mean, there's not going to be a vote for any Republicans to get in on this, or there's just
Well,
gonna
no, I think.
automatically be...
First of all, there are many out there that are smarter than I that have said this is going to take an amendment that we're going to have to do more than just have Congress vote on it. But what they're saying is because it is such a predominantly Democrat areas where the Democrats just have a hold a majority. I mean, if you look at how Puerto Rico votes, more so Washington, D.C., in the presidential election, Donald Trump maybe got 10% of the vote and Biden got 90%. I don't know that for a fact, but I mean, it was very lopsided. So they're just speculating that if D.C. were to become a state, that would be just one, well, it might be more than one congressional seat, but it would also be 2 senatorial seats, and they would both go to Democrats.
Automatically? I mean...
Well, no, not automatically, but they're just saying, they're projecting that the vote would be so overwhelming for Democratic candidates that Republicans wouldn't have a chance. And I don't know about Puerto Rico if that would actually be the case, but it would be pretty hard for a Republican to win in D.C.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's just overwhelming.
The way I was hearing is just automatically, if D.C. becomes a state, they automatically get 2 Democrats in for the Senate. I'm like, well, now, wait a minute. Ain't there some voting supposed to be going on?
Yeah, there would. Yeah, you would still go through the process, but it would be. Yeah, they're looking at that. Listen, if these Democrats that are saying, oh, the poor people of Washington D.C. need to have representation in the Senate. If you were to take an area that was as conservative as Washington D.C. is liberal, the Democrats wouldn't care one iota about the people of that area. If Washington D.C. was conservative, they would say there's no way we can allow them to have representation. I can't remember who it was, but one member of Congress came out and said, look, why don't we just make D.C. a part of the state of Maryland? That way the people will have representation from the senators that represent Maryland. And they ought to be happy because the Maryland senators are pretty liberal.
Pretty liberal,
yeah.
Definitely.
Yep, for sure.
Okay.
Hey, Gary, good to hear from you. Thanks for the call. 5618255. Fox News is reporting Vice President Kamala Harris today claimed that a lack of climate adaptation and climate resilience in Northern Triangle countries was the root cause of the migration crisis at the southern U.S. border, along with a list of other issues, including violence and government corruption. Now, what's amazing about this is that it happened so quickly. I mean, stop and think about this. Prior to last November the 3rd, when we had the general election that took place, where Joe Biden was claimed to be the winner, up to that point, the border was quiet. Right after that, crowds started coming in by the hundreds, by the thousands. I don't remember anything with the climate in the news. I mean, do you remember anything, problems at the time? I don't remember any big climate issues that changed, that happened around election, because, I mean, there weren't these people coming prior to November 3rd. But the problem is climate. The problem is, and I don't remember anything about corrupt governments getting any worse right around November 3rd. What happened that, well, you know the answer to that. It's Biden's and Kamala Harris's idiotic policies. Republicans have pointed to the rolling back of the Trump-era border protections, like construction of the border wall and the migrant protection protocols for the surge at the migration of the southern border. You think? Biden is scrambling for an answer, and leave it to Biden and Kamala Harris to come up with blaming it on climate change. The White House has doubled down on its emphasis on root causes such as violence and poverty for the reason of the surge. Again, so I guess prior to November 3rd that everybody was having a great income, doing well, The climate, the weather down in Central America must have just been marvelous up to November the 3rd. And I guess prior to November the 3rd, there was no corruption. There was no gang-related issues down there. Good for the folks in Central America, but too bad that November 3rd, everything turned. We're looking at extensive storm damage of extreme climate. We're looking at drought in an area in a region where agriculture is one of the most traditionally important bases for their economy. We're looking at what's happening in terms of food scarcity as a result of that, and in fact, incredible food insecurity, which we used to call food hunger insecurity, she said. But again, prior to November 3rd, everything was fine, I guess. So thank you, Kamala, for that great insight. 561-8255. Robert, you said? Rob, how are you, sir?
Just fine.
Good to hear from you.
Oh, it's interesting that the District of Columbia was explicitly set up the way it was. And if people who live there so desire representation, they can move to one of the 50 states.
Right.
Perfectly fine.
Right. Yeah, it was specifically set up as an area not to be governed by a state, that it would be for the federal government and the federal government alone. Yeah. Yeah, that was by design. It wasn't a mistake. But you got to remember, Rob, that it was designed by a bunch of white, bigoted, conservative men that didn't know what they were doing. I'm being sarcastic, Rob.
Their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor, none of which can be found in D.C. these days.
No. Well stated, yeah. That is a bygone era. Oh, could we only get it back? Yeah. Good point.
Thanks for what you do.
Yeah,
I
man.
appreciate your show, sir.
Hey, Rob, good to hear from you. Thank you for your comments. Speaking of how things change, there was a time in the early days of the CIA when it was an adventure, it was a patriotic duty. You really, it was a little scary. It was an adventure. It was all that. But oh, how things have changed. Texas Senator Ted Cruz slammed the CIA's latest woke recruitment ad, which includes lines like, "I'm a woman of color, I'm a cisgender millennial, I'm an intersectional. We've come a long way from Jason Bourne," said Ted Cruz. He also went on to say, if you're a Chinese communist or an Iranian mullah or Kim Jong-un, would this scare you? Here's just part of the audio. It's about a 2-minute piece. Here's just part of the audio from this adventuresome delve into the CIA.
I'm a woman of color. I am a mom. I am a cisgender millennial who's been diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder. I am intersectional, but my existence is not a box-checking exercise. I am a walking declaration, a woman whose inflection does not rise at the end of her sentences, suggesting that a question has been asked. But at 36, I refuse to internalize misguided patriarchal ideas of what a woman can or should be. I am tired of feeling like I'm supposed to apologize for the space I occupy rather than intoxicate people with my effort, my brilliance. I am proud of me, full stop. I stand here today a proud first-generation Latina and officer at CIA. I am unapologetically me.
So it's interesting. She says, I'm not going to check all the boxes, but the CIA did. Had a woman of color. Got to mention, cisgender, which, okay, so she's cisgender, but the very fact that is the insinuation that, okay, you could be cisgender, but you could also be transgender. I'm an intersectional. Come on. I mean, go back. If you can actually go on YouTube and you can find numerous promotional videos from the CIA. And most of them over the years have been about They look like, even though people aren't in uniform, they would look like an ad, for Be All You Can Be for the Army, or we want the few, the proud, the Marines. That kind of a patriotic sense of duty. And what are they doing now? Oh, I'm checking all the politically correct boxes. And Ted Cruz is right. Kim Jong-un's got to be over there laughing. I mean, really. And this is what they're doing to the military as well. They're not there to defend the United States, to protect the American people. They're more worried about the social experiment. They're more worried about making sure that all the woke people are feeling loved, feeling embraced. A former CIA officer criticized the video, saying that, quote, America is less safe with this new CIA and dangerously more political. The CIA used to be about mission to country. I speak from experience, tweeted Brian Dean Wright. Now it's about demanding and getting accommodation to fix an emotional wound or advance a personal agenda. Even Meghan McCain slammed the video as a joke. The CIA recruitment video is a joke and truly embarrassing to our entire country. Russia, China, and our enemies are laughing at us. J.D. Vance, the author, wrote that our universities teach people to talk like this. It's a national embarrassment. Ryan Saverda wrote, Biden is turning every U.S. institution into an embarrassing freak show. The world is laughing at us. Oh, my. Oh, my. Can we survive the next 3.5 years? Stay with us. I'll be right back.
Break the chain. Eat local. Tiebreakers.
Hey, this is Hank Hinton back here at Full Service Flooring in Winterville. I'm here today with Corey Little, who's the operations manager here at Full Service Flooring. Corey's been here 6 months, but you've been in construction a long time. Tell us about what you do here at Full Service Flooring.
Yeah, I got over here about 6 months ago. I've been in construction for, like I said, a little over 20 years, and I've known Tim for a long time now, and he's brought me over here to see what new kind of things I can bring to the store and to our customers. And I'm in charge of scheduling, and I don't know what else. I'm in charge of everything. It seems like we work together as a team and try to pull it all together. I might do a measure one day and do a commercial floor the next day, but we just kind of all work together and pull it all together at one time.
So what's new in flooring? What is the hot new thing?
The hot new thing is LVP or LVT, depending on what you're looking for, which look you're looking for. It's a waterproof product. It's absolutely fantastic. You can't really beat it.
A lot cheaper than hardwoods?
It is definitely a cost-effective alternative to hardwoods, yes, sir.
So, Corey, how is business right now?
And business is good. Despite the pandemic, we're still seeing a lot of new customers in the store, and we get an opportunity to introduce our products in a lot of different situations right now.
Corey, you've got a lot of experience in the construction industry. How is that helping you here with people, helping people with flooring here at Full Service Flooring?
Sure. I try to take the experiences that I've gained over my time in construction to help apply that to the flooring, whether it be with what the structure is made out of, the subfloor that we're going over top of, or maybe even just how it coordinates with your kitchen cabinets in construction or in your bathroom and how the tub and everything all ties together.
And a customer can just come here and see you anytime?
Absolutely. We're here 6 days a week, and we just love to see a new customer in here anytime. They can always call us and schedule something with us so that we can make sure we have our time allotted for them.
Corey, thank you so much. That's Corey Little here at Full Service Flooring. Come see these guys. They're on Tilco Drive in Winterville, 756-9308 and fullserviceflooring.com.
In North Carolina, we get up before the sun rises and stay up into the wee hours of the night. We believe in working hard and playing harder. Behind every meal, there's a farmer, and behind every farmer, there's got to be NC, the official state identity program for North Carolina agricultural products. Look for the Got to Be NC logo wherever you shop or eat, and you'll know you're getting a quality product grown, raised, caught, or made in North Carolina.
This is your Drive at 5 and ENC with Tom Lamprecht. Welcome back to News and Views on Talk 96.3 and 103.7.
So driving home tonight, be careful. It is coming down like out of a fire hose here in the Greenville area outside of our studios. The trees are bending over and the rain is literally coming down like a fire hose, so be careful. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, who presided over a COVID-19 nursing home policy that may have resulted in thousands of coronavirus-related deaths among the elderly, has now warned New York's unvaccinated and vaccine-hesitant residents that they could, quote, kill their grandmothers if they continue to refuse to get a COVID-19 shot. During a press conference on Monday, Cuomo, who is facing down a nursing home scandal and a bunch of sexual harassment allegations, targeting the youthful and the doubtful to get COVID-19 vaccine. Per Fox News, Cuomo said that there is an attitude amongst the unvaccinated that they believe they'll be fine and warned that the unvaccinated people could have a lingering consequence of COVID-19. There is an attitude that they'll be fine, why should I get the vaccine? Maybe you will get a long-haul syndrome that we're really not sure what it is yet, but a lingering consequence of COVID. Governor, first of all, I don't think you're a doctor. Secondly, it's pretty obvious you don't know what you're talking about because how many thousands of people died at your edicts about the nursing homes. But you could say the same thing about people that get the vaccine. Now, I'm not wishing or hoping or thinking even that there's some long-haul syndrome that they might get. But quite frankly, they don't know. They don't know. He said, maybe you'll go home and kiss your grandmother and wind up killing your grandmother, he said. Fox News meteorologist Janice Dean, who became a chief advocate for victims of Cuomo's nursing home policy after learning that her in-laws likely died of COVID-19 because of the rule that Cuomo put into place, came out and said Cuomo has some nerve calling others grandma killers. He has some nerve shaming others for possibly endangering their grandparents, Dean told the network. Over 15,000 elderly are no longer with us, thanks in part to his deadly policy to readmit infected patients into nursing homes. And Janice Dean, she didn't mince words. She said, if anyone knows how to kill a grandma, it's Andrew Cuomo. Wow. Janice Dean, go get him. Here's the other thing, too. Why are we not talking about get the vaccine or if you have actually had COVID? Again, any doctors, I'm not a doctor. I'm just telling you what I'm hearing other doctors say. If you've had COVID, you've got immunity. So why would you go out and get the shot on top of the fact that you've had it and you have immunity? By the way, the National Review is running a little background check into how Texas, and Texas basically has been open for the last month or so. Well, all the way back to March the 2nd, they've been opening up. And anyway, compared to New York, they're doing quite well. New York says they'll be fully open by the middle of May. Hey, we got to take another time out. Stay with us. I'll be right back.
Anything could happen ever since I met you. Let me take you dancing.
Introducing Pepsi Mango.
Greenville Toyota has a big deal for you. Get up to 125% of what your trade is worth. Then drive a new vehicle with our big Greenville Advantage. Lifetime maintenance, no-cost oil changes, free loaners, and more. The Big Deal Sales Event, now at Greenville Toyota.
Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's great things inside at Pitt Greenville Airport.
Sawyer's Fun Park in Winterville is now open. With over 40,000 square feet of family fun, daily money-saving deals, and a full-service restaurant, Sawyer's Fun Park is guaranteed to have something the whole family will love. Test your ninja skills on our 2-story obstacle course or head over to one of our 5 rock walls and race your friends to the top. And when you've worked up an appetite in our laser tag arena or our one-of-a-kind ropes course, grab a table over at the restaurant and try our world-famous Southern Monster Fries. Reserve your spot today at SawyersFunPark.com and come join in on the fun.
My name is Dr. Neeti Armistead, Chief Medical Officer for Vidant Health. The following simple steps will help keep you and your community safe. Stay home as much as possible, wear a mask when out in public, avoid large gatherings, practice social distancing, and wash hands often. It's also important not to delay needed care. Vidant has taken important steps to provide you and your family with a safe environment. To learn more about COVID-19 and Vidant's response, call 252-847-8000 or visit vidanthealth.com/COVID-19.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
It's Greenville Toyota's Big Deal Sales Event. Our biggest selection with our biggest savings. Like Corollas, just $15,950. Camrys, only $18,950. Rush in before these big deals are gone. At Greenville Toyota, where our volume saves you money.
This one's for everyone who spends the amount of time it would take to watch a movie, agreeing on which movie to watch. You've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar.
Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices.
This is your Drive at 5 and ENC with Tom Lamprecht. Welcome back to News and Views on Talk 96.3 and 103.7.
Breaking news, Kentucky Derby jockey winner John Valiquez has turned down a White House invite. Are you ready for this? Saying if he wanted to see a horse's ass, he would have finished second. I'm not kidding. That wasn't me. That was John Valiquez, the jockey. I think I like John. I think now I'm happy he won. The Daily Wire is reporting a GoFundMe account for an Idaho Marshal's deputy who was reportedly suspended and placed under internal investigation for mocking athlete and activist LeBron James, I'll get it out, has more than recouped his financial losses, blowing up to, are you ready, $406,000 by this morning, after James seemingly doxed and threatened a police officer who saved a young black girl's life. This was the situation up in Columbus, Ohio. He wrote, the deputy's name is Nate Sylvester. He posted this on TikTok, quote, "So if you don't care if a black person kills another black person, but you do care if a white cop kills a black person, even if he's doing it to save another black person," Sylvester says in his video mocking James. I mean, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but then again, you're a really good basketball player, so I guess I'll take your word for it. Sylvester was publicly condemned by Value's Marshal's office, and a GoFundMe account was set up for the officer by a friend who says he was suspended without pay. The Bellevue's Marshal's office is aware of the extreme controversy regarding Deputy Marshal Sylvester's viral video. The statements made do not represent the Bellevue's Marshal's office, the office said in a statement. The Bellevue Marshal's office always demands that our deputies engage with our citizens in a friendly and professional manner. This is not how we expect our deputies to act on duty or use city time. First of all, who says he did it on city time? Secondly, does he lose his freedom of speech because he's a deputy? It sounds to me, and what about LeBron James? Now, he deleted his tweet, but he put his tweet out there, made it clear for everybody. Where is the repercussion for LeBron James and putting the officer in harm's way? Remember what he put? He put a picture of the officer on there saying, "You're next." This is the officer that saved the life of the young black teenager from the other woman. LeBron James says, "You're next." Where is he going to get canned from the NBA? No? Oh, gee, there's a shocker. And by the way, what this officer in Idaho said, it sounds very reasonable. It's a very reasonable statement and a strong defense for another officer, another law enforcement officer who just saved the life of this teenage girl. Now, you know what? It wouldn't bother me at all if this guy, Nate Sylvester, the deputy, kept every penny of the $406,000. I'd pat him on the back and said, "Buddy, better hold on to it because it might be a while before you get another job in this politically woke society we live in." But Sylvester said he will not be the sole beneficiary. He's going to share it. He's going to share it with his fellow officers. As stated in earlier updates by him, Nate plans to get back to the police community at large, including the First Responders Children's Fund. He plans to donate a portion of the funds collected to that charity. He was also going to help out anyone else that finds themselves in the same situation that he finds himself in, where the woke has decided to cancel him. Congratulations, Nate Sylvester. Hope you do well. Hope you land on your feet, and it sounds like America's behind you. Hey, we'll do it again tomorrow. Look forward to it. See you then. Bye-bye, everybody.
All right.
Greenville Toyota has a big deal for you. Get up to 125% of what your trade is worth. Then drive a new vehicle with our big Greenville Advantage. Lifetime maintenance, no-cost oil changes, free loaners, and more. The Big Deal Sales Event, now at Greenville Toyota.
In North Carolina, we get up before the sun rises and stay up into the wee hours of the night. We believe in working hard and playing harder. Behind every meal, there's a farmer, and behind every farmer, there's got to be NC, the official state identity program for North Carolina agricultural products. Look for the Got to Be NC logo wherever you shop or eat, and you'll know you're getting a quality product grown, raised, caught, or made in North Carolina.
We're on location at Fabric and Home Furnishings, and I'm back with my friend Lisa Pendry. And Lisa's been telling me about all the great renovations that have been going on here in the store, and I've been looking around, and it looks fantastic. Tell us what you've done here.
Well, we've knocked some walls down, we've painted, we've added some new vendors, lots of new exciting things going on. So we're making room for everybody to get what they need to transform their homes.
Looks fantastic in here. Last time we talked, you were saying that you were able to deliver a lot faster than most other furniture stores. Is that still the case?
It is. It's changed a little bit, but we're still looking at around 8 to 10 week delivery, and we do sell our floor samples right off the floor.
All right, we always say that Fabric and Home Furnishings is more than just a fabric store, so tell us what the more is all about. What when people come in, what should they expect?
Well, we love to get to know our customers. I have the best crew I've ever had, and everybody on my team is an interior designer. So we offer in-home design service, which we always have, but now they can each come out to your home after they work with you in here, figure out what's going on in your residence or your commercial property to pull it together and help you make everything beautiful.
You got great folks here.
I do.
I can tell you, I haven't gotten to know them. It's like a family when you come in here, and everybody gets along well, and you can tell that these guys and gals really know what they're talking about when it comes to interior design.
They do, and that's really what makes us different. We offer complete in-home design service. We don't charge a by-the-hour fee. It's a flat one-time fee. We work with you in here, in your home, in your business, and help pull everything together.
All right, it's more than just a fabric store. Fabric and Home Furnishings in Arlington Village. Come see this lady. She's fantastic. Fabric and Home Furnishings. Come see the renovations here in Arlington Village. And thank you for the visit today.
Thank you, Henry.
All right, you got to come see what they've done in the store here on Arlington Boulevard in Arlington Village.
Greenville Toyota has a big deal for you. Get up to 125% of what your trade is worth. Then drive a new vehicle with our big Greenville Advantage. Lifetime maintenance, no-cost oil changes, free loaners, and more. The Big Deal Sales Event, now at Greenville Toyota.